former division chief of DPWH Region 12. Nevertheless, the DPWH designated her in an acting capacity through the recommendation of a high-ranking officials in the government. I also heard that the regional director of DPWH Region 12 also wanted her out because of her nefarious activities in her office. I did not immediately object to her appointment because I do not simply rely on unverified reports or rumors. I wanted to find out for myself if the allegations against her were all correct. It turned out that they were all true. Since her assumption as OIC District Engineer in Cotabato City District on October 4, 2019, she amassed multi-millions of wealth from contractors and subcontractors from her kickbacks of 10% per vouchers, aside from her share of profits in favored contractors. She requested for an average of 300 million cash allocation for every month of releases since her incumbency for the payment of progress billings of prior years, projects, and current projects, even if the contractors have not started or finished them and made advance bloated payments with the conditions that all of these transactions must pledge to her 10% kickback. I am posting here with the pictures of unfinished projects, but paid fully by this corrupt district engineer. She threatened the entire district engineering office staff that she had been given a blanket authority by the secretary and the regional director to make the payment of advances in order to lift the disbursement rate of the Cotabato City District. She ruled the office with an iron fist as if it was her absolute fiefdom. If anyone is against her, he or she is harshly dealt with or replaced accordingly. In a matter of 4 months, upon her assumption, she was able to purchase 3 bulletproof high-end vehicles, black Toyota Land Cruiser, black Toyota Grandia Elite, and blue Ford Raptor. Not to mention lately her newly purchased maroon and white Mitsubishi Montero. All of these vehicles can be seen and found inside the DPWH Cotabato City Engineering District compound as she and her family are currently using them. Further, she has another 5 vehicles, Hilux, Navara, Innova, CRV, and a Honda Civic parked and utilized by other members of her family residing inside the DPWH compound or quarters. She ordered the previous tenants of DPWH quarters room for visitors to vacate in order to secure the premises to be exclusive use among her family members and to cover their illegal transactions despite the existence of an old DPWH memorandum prohibiting the use of such kind of billeting or accommodations for DPWH employees. At present, the district engineer's family and their bodyguards still occupy the entire government compound. From her illegally amassed wealth, she was able to finance her husband to get a seat as a municipal councilor of a 4th-class municipality of Ampatuan town in Maguindanao. But her husband is not reporting for office as an elected official as he is always been or always seen and is staying in the DPWH quarters. Actually, it is her husband, Tong Ampatuan, who is running the engineering district. The district engineer is merely a dummy of her husband since all orders are emanating from him. because of the unprecedented culture of corruption that they created in the office, they made many enemies from contractors, which they double-crossed. They have to procure bulletproof vehicles and armed bodyguards to protect themselves. They even made the office quarters a gambling den, where mahjong and poker games are regularly played thrice a week from 4 o'clock p.m. to 1 o'clock a.m. Among the players are their favored contractors and subcontractors and their associates. The spouses even bragged about a big steel vault inside their office that is full of cash to avoid being red flagged by the Anti-Money Laundering Council. This report regarding the use of DPW's office as a gambling den has already been widely reported in news outfits in Cotabato City. Engineer Abbas Ampatuan is not reporting for duty in the office of the district engineer in the DPWH building, but in the separate Cotabato City District Engineering Office staff quarters. All transactions of the office are happening in the staff quarters. This is to avoid the interventions of the assistant district engineer and other employees and to conceal their business transactions and dealings in project implementations. The district engineer cannot decide without the concurrence of her husband. Even without a district engineer, her husband presides over the meeting and decides matters pertaining to official transactions. He even forged his wife's signature to seal negotiations. The district engineer's husband also is the one approving the job orders of personnel. Before her assumption, the office have about 180 job orders in 2019. Now the engineering district has 335 job orders. About 30 were employed as their bodyguards, drivers, cooks, and personal assistants of the district engineer's family. And about 60 are ghost employees, mostly all relatives of the couple. All of these allegations are well known in the DPW's office. Many have raised concerns about them, but the appropriate response became futile as the district engineer is very close to Regional Director Bashir Ibrahim. Director Ibrahim disregarded complaints against her because he appreciates the alleged contributions of District Engineer Abbas Ampatuan in the increase in the performance rating of the region. However, the office performance and disbursements were bloated and fabricated by Engineer Abbas Ampatuan. Aside from her spouse, she handpicked her relatives to assist her in spinning the web of corruption in the office. She designated her husband's cousin, Herodin Ampatuan Idris, a very corrupt maintenance engineer, as back chairman so that the couple can easily manipulate the bidding. The spouses Ampatuan appointed Herodin Idris as back chairman because he is dull and can easily be dictated upon. Now, Herodin Idris is also very rich, even buying several vehicles upon assuming as back chairman. Another member of the back was the district engineer's protege in the name of Engineer Kansi. The fellow is from the regional office and very known for being an extortionist and a long-serving troubleshooter of the district engineer. And the last member of her back is the district engineer's niece and her confidante, OIC Administrative Officer Ms. Zoraya Abbas Abdulgani, who controls the railroading of documents, bypassing the responsibilities of other officials of the engineering district. In December 27, 2020, the district engineer and her back cohorts celebrated their year-end in Boracay and Manila together with their associates. Before they traveled, two of her companions were found positive of COVID in a swab test conducted by DOH Cotabato Regional Medical Center. They returned and arrived on January 6, 2021 with no swab test and quarantine. They reported to office on January 7, 2021, which is a clear violation and bypassing of IATF protocols. What I am trying to say here, Mr. Speaker, is they control everything, especially the flow of the procurement process and financial transactions vis-a-vis the technical and administrative matters attached to it. When the 2021 proposed projects were bid out in December 2020, all juicy projects worth about 500 million were controlled by them, and the winning bidders are dummies and non-friends appointed by the couple. To protect their investments, and in anticipation that the Cotabato City Engineering District Office is about to be devolved in the BARM, and that a project management office for BARM will take over, they created a management team to eliminate possible candidates or applicants who may possibly hamper the implementation and releases of their projects. They even traveled to Manila several times by land during this time of pandemic just to push and promote their agenda. Mr. Speaker and esteemed colleagues, allow me to show relevant proof regarding my allegation of corruption in the DPWH. I am flashing pictures on the screen showing a 200 million flood control rewetment projects divided in 4 contracts. It was implemented by the district engineer's husband. It is designed as a 12-meter length of steel sheets pile, but they put only 4.5 meter. They concreted it very thinly, and the embankment was not compacted. You can see that this is supposedly straight, but the construction was skewed and poorly done. And sadly, these projects were paid in advance before they were completed. What a waste of public funds. And you cannot think of it as an engineer's work, and I assure you that it will not last as designed. Other projects are the 6 units of 4-story building of 20 classrooms. Each building cost about 70 million. They are not completed as of today, but these projects are all paid by the DPWH through the district engineer job, as the structure poses a great danger to the working public. On matters of procurement, other contractors cannot participate in the public bidding process because they earn the ire of the couple. Many contractors have executed their sworn statement to disclose those anomalies. However, many have retracted their statements because each of them was called and threatened that their ongoing billings and future biddings will be in peril. I raised my concern to the regional director to exhaust all available administrative remedies, but it fell on deaf ears. Obviously, the regional director is on her side despite overwhelming evidence of corruption being perpetuated by the couple. It is very clear that the district engineer's corruption is being tolerated by our superiors. Therefore, I stand here today, Mr. Speaker, to urge my distinguished colleagues in this chamber to help me in my quest to ensure that our project initiatives in our district should be implemented by the right people, whose record in public service is untainted by irregularities and corruption. I am sure the DPWH can find someone within the office who has a sterling professional and academic qualifications as well. The integrity to be a partner in the DPWH policy for good governance. In this regard, I strongly urge the DPWH to conduct a no-nonsense investigations, including a lifestyle check against Engineer Ava Sampatuan, her spouse, and their associates for the aforesaid anomalies in their office. Further, I demand that she be immediately replaced by the assistant district engineer to preserve the tampering or loss of records which they may frustrate the conduct of any future investigation on the matter. Make no mistake about it. Mr. Speaker and distinguished colleagues, I will do all I can within my power and influence to stop this culture of corruption in the said office. Thank you very much. And again, good evening to all of you.
Thank you, Majority Leader.
Mr. Speaker, I move that we refer the speech of the Honorable Sinsuat to the Committee on Rules for appropriate action.
Any objection? Chair hears none. Let's refer the privileged speech of the Honorable Sinsuat to the Committee on Rules for appropriate action.
Mr. Speaker, I move that we recognize the Honorable Minority Leader, Representative Joseph Stephen Paduano of Party List Abang Lingkod to avail of the privileged hour.
The Minority Leader is now recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Thank you, Majority Floor Leader. Mrs.